I still remember the night I slept on a cold airport bench with nothing but a torn suitcase and a heart full of dreams. My name is Millie Rose, and once upon a time, I believed that love could survive anything, even distance, even struggle, even betrayal. But I was wrong. I wasn't born into comfort. Back in my small town, life was simple. Quiet mornings, dusty roads, and dreams that felt too big for the place I came from. I used to sit by my window at night, staring at airplanes crossing the sky, whispering to myself, one day, I'll be there. And then I met Daniel. He was charming, confident, and everything my world had never seen. He told me about America like it was a place where broken people became whole again. He looked into my eyes and said, "Come with me, Millie. We'll build everything together." And I believed him. I trusted him with my future, my heart, my everything. So I left. I left my home, my family, my comfort, and stepped into a new country with nothing but hope and his promises. At first, everything felt magical. The bright lights, the endless streets, the feeling that life was finally beginning. Daniel introduced me as his future wife, and I thought, this is it. This is the life I dreamed of. But what I didn't know that day was that my dream was already starting to crack. It began with small things: late nights, unanswered calls, his sudden distance. I told myself I was overthinking, that love requires patience, that maybe he was just stressed. Until one night, everything changed. I came home early, holding his favorite dinner, hoping to surprise him. But instead, I found a truth that shattered me. A woman in my place, laughing, comfortable, like she belonged there. And Daniel didn't even look surprised to see me. That was the moment I realized I hadn't just crossed oceans for love. I had walked straight into betrayal. I stood there, frozen, my hands trembling, the food slipping to the floor. "Daniel, who is she?" I whispered, my voice barely holding together. He sighed, not guilty, not ashamed, just annoyed. "Millie, you weren't supposed to come back this early." That sentence broke something inside me. Not, "I'm sorry," not, "It's not what it looks like," just inconvenience. The woman beside him smirked slightly, crossing her arms like she had already won. And in that moment, I felt invisible. Everything I had sacrificed, everything I believed in, meant nothing to him. I packed my things that same night. No screaming, no drama, just silence and a heart that felt like it was collapsing. But the real nightmare hadn't even begun yet, because when I tried to leave, I realized something terrifying. I had nowhere to go, no family, no friends, no support, just me in a country that suddenly felt colder than ever. Daniel didn't stop me. He didn't apologize. He simply said, "You'll be fine. You're strong, right?" And then he closed the door. That night, I slept at the airport. I cried quietly, hugging my suitcase, wondering how everything had gone so wrong so fast. But somewhere between those tears, something inside me shifted. Pain turned into clarity, and clarity turned into strength. I told myself, if I can survive this, I can rebuild everything. The next morning, I stopped waiting for someone to save me. I found a small job cleaning tables at a cafe. It wasn't glamorous, but it was a start. Days turned into weeks, weeks turned into months. I worked, I saved, I learned. I faced people who underestimated me, ignored me, even mocked my broken English. But every time someone doubted me, I remembered Daniel's words, "You'll be fine." And slowly, I started proving that I would be more than fine. I studied at night, I improved my skills, I pushed myself beyond limits I didn't even know I had. And one day, an opportunity came. A small business needed help managing operations. They took a chance on me, and I took a chance on myself. That job changed everything. I grew, I learned, I transformed. From a girl who once cried on an airport bench to a woman who was finally standing on her own. But deep down, I never forgot. Not the betrayal, not the humiliation, not the way he made me feel like I was nothing. And life has a way of bringing people back when you least expect it.
It had been 3 years since I last saw Daniel. 3 years since he walked out of my life like I meant nothing. By then, I wasn't the same Millie anymore. I had built something of my own. I became a partner in the very company that once gave me a chance. I had confidence, stability, respect, and most importantly, I had myself. Then, one afternoon, fate knocked. Literally. I was sitting in my office when my assistant said, "There's someone here asking for you. Daniel." For a second, my heart paused, not out of pain, but disbelief. He walked in, looking different, less confident, less certain. Life had clearly not been kind to him. He smiled awkwardly. "Millie, wow, you look amazing." I didn't respond. I just looked at him, calmly. He began explaining. His business had failed. The woman he chose over me had left him. He was struggling and needed help. And then he said something that almost felt unreal. "I always knew you'd make it. I just didn't expect this much." I let the silence sit between us, because this time, I wasn't the girl begging for answers. I was the woman who already had them. He asked if I could help him, give him a job, a second chance. And for a moment, I thought about everything. The airport nights, the tears, the loneliness. And then I realized something powerful. I didn't need revenge, because life had already given it. I simply smiled, politely, and said, "I hope you find your way, the same way I did." And I walked away. No anger, no bitterness, just peace. Because the greatest revenge isn't hurting someone back. It's becoming so strong that their actions no longer define you. Today, I still look at the sky sometimes, but not with longing anymore, with gratitude. Because the girl who once chased dreams became the woman who built them. And if there's one thing I've learned, it's this. Sometimes the people who break you are the same ones who unknowingly push you to become unstoppable. Thank you for listening to my story. If you've ever been betrayed by those closest to you, know that you are stronger than the pain. Drop a comment below. I read every single one. And remember, keep blooming.